Welcome to CSL Greater Baltimore. Here are our announcements for September 17th, 2023. Educational opportunities. Join us Thursday night for Thursday night study group at 7:30 in our community Zoom room. For more educational opportunities available, visit csl.org/spiritual development. We've started Spiritual Principles and Practices last Monday. It's still enough time for you to join the class. Mondays from 5:30 till about 8:30. $45 to register and a love offering to CSL Greater Baltimore. For more information, email info@cslgreaterbaltimore.org or contact Reverend Kathleen Sibley. Interested in unleashing your creative genius? Interested in living a more creative lifestyle? Join us for our workshop with The Artist Way by Julia Cameron. It's a 13-week workshop where we will unlock your artist within. We're looking at starting this class in October on Tuesdays, perhaps during the day. If you want to weigh in on when we hold the class, please contact Dana Cole at 410-357-1431 or email cslgreaterbaltimore@gmail.com. Building community one conversation at a time. Join us on the second and fourth Wednesday of each month at 5:30 Eastern Time in our Zoom room. Quote of the week. I am a feminist, and what that means to me is much the same as the meaning of the fact that I am black. It means that I must undertake to love myself and respect myself as though my very life depends upon self-love and self-respect. And that comes from June Jordan. CSL is taking orders for the new 2024 Spiritual Journal. Order your copy at shop.csl.org. Join us this afternoon right after Sunday service for our board meeting. The link to the Zoom room can be found on our website, cslgreaterbaltimore.org. There are 2 more sessions to contribute to the Professional Development Uplift Creative Think Tank. The CSL Professional Development Team cordially invites you to contribute to creating the new vision for the Professional Development Division of Centers for Spiritual Living. If you have any questions, email pd@csl.org. The CSL Connection Call, Monday, September 18th, 12 p.m. Eastern. You'll hear from the CSL Member Council about their first ever virtual gathering for members on September 29th and 30th. You'll also hear from Deetra Johnson, religious science practitioner and chair of the CSL nominating committee. She'll share important details for the upcoming CSL election in February 2024, as well as voluntary opportunities on the various CSL councils. And then finally, we'll explore the exciting developments in CSL advanced education with Reverend Dr. C.C. Coltrane. Any questions? You can email communications@csl.org. Thursday, September 21st, 2 p.m. Eastern Time is Lunch and Learn series, where we listen to a rarely heard audio of Dr. Ernest Holmes and then engage in a lively discussion around the talk. Follow the Zoom link for more information. On Thursday, September 21st, join Center for Spiritual Living's Global Heart of Peace initiative for a day of prayer and meditation to honor the United Nations International Day of Peace. Let's take responsibility for world peace right where we are. For more information or to access the meditations, scan the QR code or go to oneheartretreatcenter.org for more information. Let's connect with three of our remarkable colleagues from Kenya and Peru. These leaders will be sharing their experiences, cultural perspectives, and the paths that led them to the Science of Mind philosophy. They'll also share the unique experience of becoming practitioners and ministers in their country. So, the monthly webinar with the CSL Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Committee invites you to join. Go to csl.org/calendar for more information and to register. The One Heart virtual gathering is soon coming, September 29th and 30th, the first ever virtual gathering of CSL members around the globe. For more information, shop.csl.org/member-virtual-gathering where you can register and attend. The CSL Awards Committee is now accepting nominations for Minister, Practitioner, Lay Member, Youth Champion, Arts, Youth Award, Community Awards, Global Services, Excellence in Education, and the Ernest Holmes Awards. The nominations are open until November 1st. Go to csl.tfaforms.net/203 to nominate and honor your favorite CSL community member. If you have questions? Email Reverend Valerie Reeves at vreeves@csl.org. Save the date. The 2024 Spiritual Living Convention will be held February 19th through the 22nd in Charleston, South Carolina. More information will be coming soon. As always, there are opportunities to volunteer, connect, and engage with CSL Greater Baltimore. Contact any board member for more information.
Good morning, CSL Greater Baltimore, and everyone else who is joining us today. My name is Frank Mastoris. I am the practitioner of the day, and welcome to our morning meditation. So, if you would just take a moment and gently and lovingly close your eyes and take a breath in and release. Take another breath in and release again. Take a third deep breath in and release at your own pace. And allow yourself to go within. Gently move down your body to your heart space. Gently move in, gently sink into your own heart. And as you enter your heart, you see a beautiful lighted flame. The flame that represents love to you. It could be any color. It could be white or red or pink. And it represents both personal and unconditional love. And move towards that as other people in the circle move around it to also encircle the flame. And as you look around, you see the people who mean the most to you in your life. Perhaps your spouse, your mom, your dad, any brothers and sisters, any close friends. People that you've known as friends in your life. Coworkers. People you recognize, but you may have forgotten their names. And complete utter strangers. People you have yet to meet and people that you've never been separated from. And reach out your hands to the left and grab the hand of the person next to you. First on the left and then on the right. And feel the oneness. That energy of utter love that is within you, circling around the giant flame, going to all the people on your left and coming back to you from all the people on the right. Then feel that other love going out to all the people on your right and coming back to you from all the people on your left. The circle of life, the circle of utter love that we are never been separated from. And in the moment of this infinite love, the giant flame of love that we have encircled, that we have never been separated from, gently and lovingly grows. And it grows to just outside the front of our bodies. The circle of love gently invites us in and says, come on in and be loved. Loved beyond your wildest dreams. And as we say yes to it, we are called in, brought in lovingly and gently, surrounded by the love that is within us, around us, through us, within us, as us, for the love that we are seeing and experience is the love that we are and have always been. And this love gently envelops our entire circle, bringing peace, love, joy, happiness, abundance that we have never been separated from. And this love expands to an even larger area around us, to the very state we are living in. Bringing love throughout that whole entire state. This love continues to grow and it envelops the entire country, whatever country you're in. For those of us in the States, it envelops the United States. For those of us in other countries, it envelops the country that we are living in. Then this love expands out in our awareness, enveloping our entire planet. And our entire planet is filled with, in our awareness of the love that has always been there. The very air we breathe vibrates with love. The very seat we are seated on vibrates with love. Let's proclaim, I'm loved. Very fish of the sea and all marine life vibrate in the love of God that has always been there. the very water that they live in vibrates with love. This very love expands out even deeper into our whole solar system. This whole solar system is filled with love, never separated, always fulfilled, and held together by love itself. And it expands out to even the very quadrant of the galaxy that we are in. And even the whole galaxy itself, all held in the loving arms of the One. And finally, the love expands out to the universe, filling the entire universe with the very essence of its life that it has never been separated from. Just our awareness has been limited. Now, each and every one of us who are part and parcel of this circle and beyond, bathe in the universal love that has always been there. From the very beginning of all time, we live and move and have had our beingness in this love. This is the ultimate call of loving our neighbor, and that's to love everything just as it is, just as we are. Universe and its multiplicity of expressions. Then we come back. The flame starts to come back from the universe to the galaxy, to the quadrant, to the solar system, back to the planet. Feeling the radiant universal love that we have always been from the very beginning of time. We've all been this very radiant essence of light and love. Then the circle of love shrinks even further down to our countries, our individualized states. to the very circle of life within us, and eventually back into around the group throughout the planet. And as we look, we've come from a more universal expression of life, a better understanding of the awareness. We begin to look around the group and we begin to notice the differences. And we love the differences just the way they are. Each person expressing. We love the conservative person who has perhaps needing to learn a little more. We love the person who has hurt us the most in life. We love the people who irritate us because they too are love expressed. We love our coworkers and the people whose names we do not remember and the complete utter strangers. Of our friends. We love our family. Ultimately, we love ourselves. We love ourselves with a love that knows no bounds. We love ourselves without judgment. We love ourselves just the way we are. And the circle of love, the flame of love shrinks, releasing our physical forms that we've held in our mind and our spiritual forms. We are never separated from it. We are just part and parcel of this love. And we release the hands of the beautiful people that we are part of and never have separated from. Even when we cannot see or feel them, they're us. And from our heart space, we come out of our heart space, or to wherever you would choose to be in your own body. And allow yourself just to be aware of the place you're seated. Take a deep breath in, breathing in the love and releasing of taking a deeper breath of breathing in love and releasing love. Taking a third deep breath in of breathing in love and then releasing love at your own pace. And now open your eyes bringing back in that love that you are, have always been, always will be, from that very moment of life, being you as love. Namaste, and so it is.
I'm going to sing a song that I recently wrote that's called Love and Grace. I hope you enjoy. I am so grateful for everything in my life. Said I'm so grateful to wake up to the morning light. Won't take nothing for granted. Got my second chance at life. Walking on the path of righteousness with Spirit by my side. Love and grace, yeah. Wake up every day to love and grace, yeah. No matter where I look, it's all over the place. Oh, God keeps on filling me with love. I look out for you, and you look out for me like brothers and sisters in one big family. We're a rainbow of diversity. Togetherness is a key. Acceptance of one another is the only thing that will set us free. Love and grace, yeah. I wake up every day to love and grace, yeah. No matter where I look, it's all over the place. Oh, God keeps on filling me with love. It only takes a minute to see it's all about you and me. The love and grace is everywhere, but it's hidden underneath. You gotta look within, let it out. Look around at the sky and the clouds, the people all around. God, fill me up. Love and grace, yeah. Wake up every day to love and grace, yeah. No matter where I look, it's all over the place. Oh, God keeps on filling me with love. Love and grace, oh. Everywhere I look, everywhere I go, it's love and grace. Oh, please fill up my cup with love. God keeps on filling me with love. Love, love and grace, yeah.
Good morning, you individual expressions of divine love. Welcome to the Center for Spiritual Living Greater Baltimore virtual service. Thank you for joining us from wherever and whenever you are. I'm your host, Robin Fahrenholt. Our speaker today is Reverend Kathleen Sibley. Our musician who just shared that beautiful song with us is Felicia Taylor. And our practitioner is Frank Mastoris. Thank you, Frank, for leading that wonderful pre-service meditation. At CSL Greater Baltimore, every Sunday is an Invite a Friend or Family Member Sunday. Make sure you spread the love and invite someone to service. We would love to have them hang out with us. Frank Mastores will lead us in an opening prayer.
And good morning again. For those who are just joining us, my name is Frank Mastores. I am the practitioner of the day. Today's topic is loving our neighbor. And this is what I know. There is truly only one neighbor, one presence, one life that is everywhere expressed. And I call it God. It is God because we have no other name for it. It is God. And even using that somewhat limits our understanding of that which is beyond understanding. Every one of us here in this space is God expressed. Every one of us not here in this space is God expressed. Everyone across the entire planet, even the rocks, the trees, the air, the solar system, the sun, everything is God expressed. Thus, everyone and everything is our neighbor. As Reverend Kathleen speaks to us about loving our neighbor, I know the truth that everyone and everything is God expressed. Thus, everything and everyone is my neighbor. I know this service is done in divine perfection. This music that beloved Felicia, who is God expressed, has shared with us, is given to us, is God expressed. Every person producing, Sue producing, Robin, our host, everyone and everything is God expressed. Today, as we have our board meeting, God is expressing in our board meeting. God is expressing in everyone, as everyone, through everyone, because God is all there is. And I know that everything is done in divine, perfect expression. Everyone and everything is expressing love. The love that God is. And I release this because it's perfect. It's all perfect. And so it is.
So if you would like to know what's happening at the Center for Spiritual Living Greater Baltimore, check out our website. It has the news and events about classes, outreach opportunities, tithing, all the things that you maybe have need information for, and it is a wealth of information. Prayer works. Prayer works. Prayer works. And as a community, we continue to treat and move our feet, to pray and to act, knowing the truth for everyone around the planet. Prayer requests can be sent to info@CSL Greater Baltimore, and a practitioner will respond to you within 24 hours. And so it is.
Baltimore. My name is Felicia Taylor. I'm so thankful to be here today. I'm going to be doing a song called The Power of Now by Faith Rivera.
The power of now is always perfect, nowhere to be than where you are. power of now flows oh so gracefully. The power of now is always present, no one to be than who you are. The power of now flows oh so easily. Be willing to let go of anything you think you need to know. Oh, be strong enough to let go of everything you think you need to control. For everything goes away. Let everything wash away. The power of now. Power of now is ever flowing, connecting us all to the one. The power of now unfolds so easily. Be willing to let go of everything you think you need to know. Oh, be strong enough to let go of everything you think you need to control. For everything goes away. Let everything wash away. The power of now. The power of now. Power of now. Power of now.
Good morning. Our spiritual practice today is the Hawaiian forgiveness practice of Ho'oponopono. Ho'oponopono. Hope I'm saying that properly. It's the practice of self-forgiveness and forgiving others. So what I would like you to do, let's start focusing first on ourselves, because we can't give what we have not taken for ourselves. So let's start with the process of self-forgiveness, because we cannot give what we have not given ourselves. It's a very simple 4-phrase statement. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. Now, I'd like you to continue and follow along with me as I repeat it. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. Now, please extend this forgiveness to anyone that you feel that you have some separation with. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. Sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. And bring it back to yourself again. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. And last time, I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. And so it is.
Oh, Frank, thank you so much. That was perfect. That was the perfect practice with which to start off our new year. So I want to say Shana Tova to everybody who is from a Jewish practice or tradition. For those of us who are Goyim and don't understand what that means, this is the start of the high holy days for the Jewish tradition and for the Jewish people. So congratulations to all of them and have fun with it. And what a blessing it is to know that this huge group of people is currently focused on on looking at what has happened in the past year and what they want to do differently. This is very much like the secular New Year here in the Western culture, where we wait till January 1st and write down a whole bunch of expectations for the new year and resolutions. And we're going to lose that same 5 pounds that we lost last year with only 15 pounds to go. Remember those resolutions? So it's kind of like, well, first of all, at the level of humanity, it's kind of like Christmas and Easter for most Christians. That's the only time many Jewish people show up at the temple. But they show up in their best, and it is the beginning of a process in which, in Rosh Hashanah, the idea is that you go within and you take a good hard look at your life and you evaluate it, and you figure out what you could be doing better. And it's not, oh, I'm so sinful, I'm awful. It's, okay, so this has not worked for me. And so please help me, God, to do better next year, to not re-engage in the same old behaviors that have not served me this year. Excuse me. It is a serious and solemn attempt to change thinking and change behavior so that our lives can change. So this is just the beginning of the High Holy Days. This is just the beginning of a process that is meant to take 40 days. It's a serious step into consciousness and into thinking and taking a good hard look at one's life. Now, in the Judeo-Christian tradition, and especially in the biblical writings, the number 40 is it has huge metaphysical significance. Jesus always spent 40 days out in the desert. That's where we come to ourselves, where we take away all of the external stuff. You know, you put down the phone and you turn off the TV and you turn off the radio and you go into to electrical or digital desert in order to finally hear yourself think. It was 40 days of rain during the flood with Noah. It was 40 years for Moses and the people who escaped from slavery in the desert. This is a time or a number that is meant to indicate a time of deep change, not just I got a haircut. This is huge, deep movement in consciousness. So I wish you all a Shana Tova, a prosperous and sweet beginning of what's called the head of the year. And I think I have to say that Frank did an amazing job introducing Ho'oponopono into the conversation. He is one of our practitioners who is always here to pray with you, to do the work with you, to help you figure out what the belief is that has been getting in your way. And so I really encourage you to speak to the practitioners, to take a deep dive into what is the possibility for your life, not just what Freud called a normal level of misery, which is what he was aiming for back in his day. I'm really hoping we've learned to do better than that. The practitioners are there to help you take a look at the behaviors and the thinking that is not serving you, that is getting in the way, that makes you feel limited. It's all of the stuff that starts with too old, too tall, too fat, too young, too loud, too quiet, too whatever. If you have the letters TOO in front of whatever it is you're calling yourself, then you are describing something that you think is a limitation for you. Now, I really want to emphasize that those things you think are in your way are actually what the Buddhists call your beloved teacher. Those things you think are in your way are actually there to teach you that my title and my ego mean nothing, that love is more important than being a professional. So I have love in my life. He shows up as my beloved teacher and as apparently my senior minister. In Ho'oponopono, we look at those things, those people who represent to us our limitations. Maybe it's a family member. Maybe it's the person of the opposite political party, God forbid. Maybe it's an institution you're having trouble with. Maybe it's some part of you, the part of me that loves to live on sugar, the part of me that really would much prefer to sit and read books about fairies and monsters and dragons rather than do the work that is required of me as a spiritual being, that is required of me to remove those blockages from bad information that was input into my operating system way back in the day. So when we do Ho'oponopono, it was actually taught by a man in Hawaii. It's actually part of the Hawaiian tradition, in case the name didn't clue you in. And what he did was he was hired in a relatively dangerous position, which was as the, I believe he was a psychiatrist in charge in a hospital for the criminally insane. And so what he did, and I could be wrong on the details of that, but he went into his new office when he was hired, and he never went to visit the patients. He went and he read their files, and then he sat with the file and he did Ho'oponopono with them. And what he was doing was, I'm sorry, please forgive me for seeing you as broken, for seeing you as this evil thing, for believing in evil and that you could personify it. I love you. I take you back into my heart. I stop othering you and make you part of my chosen family. I claim you as a beloved teacher. And thank you for helping me rid myself of yet another belief in brokenness or wrongness. I'm sorry. I'm sorry you are locked up here. I'm sorry you are suffering as someone who is, quote unquote, mentally ill, who is seen as other or bad or wrong by society, who is thrown out of the company of people. Please forgive me for participating in that. Please forgive me for believing in that. Thank you so much for helping me grow. I love you. You are part of my heart and part of my chosen family. And it may not be what was on his list of duties, well, according to his job description, but what happened was, instead of being a horrible place to work where people were getting hurt every day, everybody kind of calmed down and started getting along better and started doing well. And there were healings, and he never had to leave his office. He had to change the way he was thinking. So thank you, Frank, for reminding us all of that really powerful spiritual tools. And that's what our practitioners are here for, to give us the spiritual tools that allow us to chart our own course into a better life. Now, we had an amazing experience last weekend with Reverend Dr. Karen Kushner, who took us through a co-creation process. And one of the teachings during the healing service, which, by the way, we can repeat should we choose to, is called the Coach to Everywhere. And I want to just go over that quickly for those of you who have not seen it. So the coach is the coach itself. The driver is, and that is your physical body. The driver is your mind. The horse is your emotions. And the little dude hanging out the side of the coach, like some college student at Fort Lauderdale during spring break, that's actually the divine being. That's the divine part of you. That is, whether you call it God or Atman or your Buddha nature or your Christ consciousness, that's the part of you that is your highest self. And so as long as that is what is speaking into your mind, and that is what is, and that is the part of you that is holding the reins on your emotions, you generally have a pretty good thing going on. There's lots of things that can go sideways about that, but we don't have time to discuss all of that in 20 minutes. If you look in the back of the coach, though, there's all these little gremlin demon dudes. And those are the parts of us that are the twos, the too tall, too short, too fat, too thin, too smart, too stupid. Those are all the parts of us that we have tried to other, that we have tried to make different from us and therefore wrong. Some people call this the committee in the back of their mind. Now, if we don't choose to listen to them and make friends with them while they're in the coach, if you notice right in front of the horse, I don't know why I'm pointing at it right now because you can't see that, but right in front of the horse is a little demon dude who is a temptation. This is your neighbor. This is your beloved teacher. Now, in this teaching, it's called your neighbor. Your neighbor is the one that you're supposed to love. Love your neighbor as yourself, because in many cases, especially if you have a lot of emotion around it, your neighbor is yourself. That little demon dude got out of the back of the coach and came to stand in front of you so that you would pay attention. Very often we try and drive around it. You know, our mind directs the emotions to just go around it and don't interact. That's called spiritual bypass, and it's one of the biggest problems we have as a movement. Or the emotions get in our way, and so we just run them down. Now, the trouble is that's part of us. And so we're actually hurting ourselves when we do that. Great time to use Ho'oponopono. I'm sorry I ran you over with my horse. Truly not the best way to handle things, because it just gets up and comes back bigger and better with a different name or a different face. I don't know how many of us have married the parent we had the most trouble with and then continue to marry that person over and over again in a different skin. Am I right? I only got married once, so I can't say I did that over and over again. But there you go. So dealing with this neighbor requires us to have spiritual tools that take this being back into our heart. This is the shadow work we sometimes do. This is Ho'oponopono. This is our forgiveness work. There are so many great ways to take this neighbor back into our heart as the beloved teacher, as the best friend, the great neighbor who brings us cookies and actually like shovels the snow or shows up when we've been sick. The great neighbor who actually serves a purpose in our life and now is doing it from a place of love and joy rather than I need to get your attention because you continue to hurt yourself. There was a time where my neighbor usually showed up in my car, literally in my car. So at one point I was working full time. Excuse me, living in San Diego, working full time, part of a brand new center. And so part of the team that was actually putting the center together. And I was in ministerial school. So that was a full-time master's degree. And that was a lot. And so as I'm on the 8th, moving from the outskirts of the city of San Diego, headed downtown, I found myself stuck in overdrive with no brakes. That was a bit scary because I was about to head into traffic. Now, I managed to get home. And when I got home, I did what I always do, which is figure it out, get creative, and figure it out. Did I think to call anybody else for help? No. My neighbor at that point was someone who said, you have to pull yourself up by your own bootstraps, which is a phrase that used to mean do the impossible. So that night, I literally got out a paperclip and got the button to undo out of overdrive. So I was no longer in overdrive. And I was thinking, okay, maybe I fixed it. I'm headed to ministerial classes the next day, and I still had no brakes. That night, I dropped off the car and bought a new one. And interestingly, I told my sister that I had fixed the brakes by getting new tires. And she goes, Kathleen, that's not going to help you much. I said, sure they will. They're attached to a whole new car. Isn't that kind of what we do, though? We think if we switch out the neighbor, we fix the problem. We think if we move houses, we'll have a new neighbor and they won't be exactly the same as the old one. We have done nothing to ourselves. We just rearranged the deck chairs on the Titanic. That's all we did. Our job within this teaching is to stop trying to trade out neighbors for better neighbors and start making friends with the neighbors we've got. Caveat. If your neighbor is taking a swing at you, the most spiritual thing you can do is duck and then get out of the range of that, of danger. This teaching does not mean we take abuse. It means that when something comes up over and over in our lives, we take it as an attempt by the universe to help us see how we're setting ourselves up to get hurt. Not in the moment. No one chooses to be a victim. No one chooses to be abused as a child or as a spouse or as any of that. No one chooses cancer. It's not because there's something in your consciousness that has called that to you and you're somehow wrong for doing that. What it does is, if there are patterns in our lives that don't serve us, it helps us see them. No shame, no blame. Just what can I do to begin to treat myself as the adult child of the divine that I actually am, as the beloved of the beloved. And so I have Ho'oponopono. I can forgive myself and my neighbors and at least, if nothing else, be free of the pain of it all. So here in this new year, what we do is we look at our neighbor and we face the greatest temptation there has ever been. The temptation not to love them. We are to love our neighbors as ourselves. That doesn't mean put up with abuse. It means look at them and understand that they too are an adult child of God doing the best they can. And then discern, without judgment, but discern that they may belong in our lives and they may not. They may have a behavior that we have to confront and they may not. It becomes a matter of, can the divine within me work with the divine within you in order to better both our lives? If they're not open for that conversation, then we bless and release them. This is not a cult. If it was a cult, it would be hard to leave. We'll just give you a hug and say, I absolutely trust you to find your path. So one of the things we did for co-creation was create this beautiful prayer that helps us find our path. This is a prayer we will be saying together and ongoing. It is a prayer that will be shared with all the practitioners if they don't already have it, that is to be said every single day. If you are part of this community, I hope you will take it home and read through it. The best thing you can do, the absolute best, is to read through it aloud and decide how much of it you believe in and do that for the next 40 days. 40 is that consciousness changing number, remember? As a community, we're going to be doing this together for quite some time, and we'll be reading it, and I hope you'll read it aloud with me now. And so in order to let you read it aloud with me, Sue's going to put it up on the screen for me. And say this and chew on it. Decide whether this is true for you as you read it, okay? There is only one life. This life is good. This life is God. This life is my life now. In knowing that I am one with this life that is God, I therefore know that I am one with all of its blessed expressions, which includes my beloved spiritual community. Because I know that the highest purpose of my spiritual community is to glorify God, I therefore know that the Center for Spiritual Living Greater Baltimore is a revelation of God as divine love. I further know that my spiritual community is the fulfillment of that which has been promised by God, for it is written in the textbook, in case you're wondering. The circle of divine love is complete. It comprehends all, includes all, and binds all together with everlasting unity. We are forever held in love's presence and care. Divine love is complete in me. I now intend to experience my life in full cooperation and agreement with my community, knowing this truth about myself. For I am recognizing, developing, and nourishing self-awareness and spiritual growth. I am cultivating wisdom. Excuse me, through the study of science of mind principles and spiritual practices. I am part of an all-inclusive community that welcomes all. I nurture and celebrate the joyous expression of divine love that is each of us. And in this moment, I will ask you that you just take a moment And think about what is your intention for your community, your spiritual community, whatever it may be, and for yourself. I now accept that the highest expression of the Center for Spiritual Living Greater Baltimore into my life, knowing that it is revealed in a way that glorifies God and serves the highest and greatest good of all who are touched by its presence. I am grateful God is gracious, and so it is. Amen. Namaste.
Baltimore. I'm going to be sharing another song with you called God is All There Is. Here we go. In the morning when I rise, I know I'm not alone. Put my hands together and pray to the only one I know. Give thanks for another day and for everyone in my life. I say and so it is, amen, and then I let it go. God is all there is, everywhere you turn, in your heart and soul and all you know, and in every word. God is all there is, the source of who we are, in every flower and tree, you and me, and in every star. And the night before I sleep, I lay my head and I say, thank you, God, I'm so grateful for all I've done today. I give love to my family and friends, you and all. Saying so and it is, amen, and then I let it go. God is all there is, everywhere you turn, in your heart and soul and all you know, and in every word. God is all there is,
I don't know which has me buzzing more, that song or Reverend Kathleen's message, but what a wonderful service so far. I'd like to share with you the Center for Spiritual Living Greater Baltimore's vision and mission. Our vision: we are demonstrating a world that works for all. One life-affirming thought, word, deed, feeling, and one human interaction at a time. The mission of our center is to provide the community with the tools, techniques, and talents that science of mind and religious science offer, that they awaken the divine truth of their best being for the purpose of living life to the fullest. So now is the time of service that we be reminded that the practice of the law of circulation. And circulation is basically just what it says, a circle of giving and receiving. As you give, so you receive. There are many ways to support our spiritual center. It supports where we are spiritually fed, while also supporting the business of being a center. How do we tithe or donate or offer? There's many ways, and you'll find them all on the CSL website. For more information, go to cslgreaterbaltimore.org. In alignment with the law of circulation, we have the Declaration of Financial Wealth and Abundance. Please read along with me as I share this information with you. I joyfully, consciously, and gratefully participate in the law of circulation. I trust in the spiritual principle that says, as I sow into my beloved community, I demonstrate my awareness of standing not only in the flow, but as the flow itself. As I sow of myself, my time, my treasure, my talents, I demonstrate my support and engagement in my community's vision, mission, and purpose. I actively give as a demonstration of manifesting, of reaping the harvest of a world that works for all. So as we come to the end of our service, if you would like a practitioner on duty to pray with you, which today would be Frank Mastores, join us via Zoom on our CSL Greater Baltimore website and type prayer into the chat. Today, we have our CSL Greater Baltimore meeting, our board meeting. It's after service in the Zoom room. Please feel free to join us. It's open to everyone. And thank you for joining us today. You are awesome. Thank you, Felicia. Thank you, Frank. Thank you, Sue. Thank you, Reverend Kathleen, for making this a wonderful start to our week. And now, if you would join us in our closing prayer.
How beautiful. Thank you. So in this moment of gratitude, in this moment of peace, in this moment of joy, what I know is what the songs have said and what we have all been speaking in the last hour and a half is that God truly is all there is. One power, one presence, one life, one vast net of energy. And all of it connected and all of it made manifest as this physical world, as each and every one of us, as the neighbors that are easy to love and the neighbors that we have a little harder time with, as all of the impulses and beliefs and everything else that is part of the great one mind, that infinite energy moves through us and allows us to decide which beliefs are actually useful and will continue and which will be tossed on the heap of things which were once believed to be true. I bless and celebrate this time together. I bless and celebrate this new year, this sense of newness and freshness and energy with which we enter this new year, where all is well and we are choosing well. Those things that are worthy of the divine being, choosing from divine love, how to love our neighbors and ourselves. And so in gratitude for all that is and all that is becoming this week, knowing that we go out and use our tools to create the world that works for all of us. I bless and release this time together. I know that as we go into the Zoom room for camaraderie and laughter and love, that all is well, and the energy of this service continues. And so we come together in agreement by stating, and so it is. Amen. I'm attached to still being here.